Go get a snack. Don't have one? I made you one. Yeah, look at these. Delicious looking. They're a little bit crispy. Open up. There we go. Mmm, chocolate chip cookies, your favorite. How much do you weigh? What? Who said that? Your boyfriend did.
How much do you weigh?
I gained 3 pounds.
Yeah, relationship goals it is, apparently. When you're about to dig into your dessert and your boyfriend goes,
How much do you weigh?
Let's look at the calories to make sure we're not overeating. This is sushi for you.
It's only 4.3 calories. You can eat these all day.
"Aw, that's cute, right? That's adorable." Or how about when he looks at your traditional cultural Han-Fu Chinese dress? You know, the only one you own that doesn't make you look like a child.
This looks good. We should eat dinner.
And he hates it.
And that's why I hate these dresses.
Hates it. It's too long.
When you wear those dresses, the whole thing goes with it, and your hair's always falling down, and we have to walk slow, and you're always stepping on them.
He likes me to wear short skirts.
Can't see enough of those legs, baby.
My boyfriend likes me wear doll dresses.
Aww. That's not cute anymore. How about when your hair falls forward while you're eating, and instead of gently brushing it off, he barks at you like a rabid dog.
Hair, sweetie, hair.
No? Not cute? Like a father and their child. He actually feeds you vitamins, the gummies, the little Flintstone ones for kids.
This is my vitamin.
Come here, sweetie. Sit on my lap and put those socks on. Gently pats you on the head. Like a pet, he feeds you out of a cat bowl.
Oh, that's so cute.
Come on, guys, it's a little cute, no? No, how about when he plays with the bell on the collar around your neck? What was your name again?
My boyfriend calls me baby girl.
Baby girl. When he calls you baby girl instead of your name, because you don't have one anymore. No, you're just an accessory in this man's fantasy. You, as in Yumi King, the grown adult college graduate that is playing the role of incompetent child in her man's script. Cute. Very cute. Couple goals. Relationship goals, according to many of the comments on their YouTube channel. Maybe Yumi enjoys it. Maybe her fear of aging alone, conditioned by her traditional Chinese mom, made this transactional relationship playing into somebody's fantasy sound like a pretty good deal.
I was looking for the right person for so long, ever since I was 16. I asked myself why nobody wanted to marry me. I was very worried because a lot of my old friends are getting married.
Maybe she saw a husband equals survival. Cute, right? No, it's not cute. Good thing that's not you, bestie. A story that could never be you. So you're single. But this is a real story. The story of Yumi King and this mollusk of a man, okay, who turned this woman into a doll until pregnancy broke the spell. This is a real story of how culture combined with Orientalism, combined with infantilization, could create a baby girl. But before she was baby girl, she was Yumi King. Nanjing, China. We've been here before, if you recall, with the Sister Hung video. Nanjing, what's happening? But this time, we're going 14 years back, when baby girl was actually a baby, okay? She was actually young. When she was just Yumi, and eventually in her 20s, she would move to the US with her mom and her new American stepfather. New city, new language, new life. A whole new world for Yumi. So she'd learn English, how to sew. She would post her first YouTube video in 2014 under the name Designs by Ume. Her first videos, they were silent. She would create these very delicate, feminine, cute, adorable videos. Designs by Ume, where the designs were basically Lolita girl aesthetic fashion, like kawaii kind of clothes that she would teach you as in her audience, who were primarily composed of teenage girls. This is important. Register this. Self-taught, talented. She was the kind of girl who could turn a $5 piece of fabric into a $200 cosplay. She was quite an early sensation in the cosplay community when she would go out in her outfits. Wholesome videos. Okay, she sewed, she smiled, she modeled, and she kawaii'd. She gave off doll vibes, and her not speaking in her early videos kind of reinforced that image. She was 20-something, but people thought she was like 16. And I feel like that would be the first layer of this entire mess, before the man poured the vitamins and the collar. There was already a system in place at this point. She was getting paid for being seen the way she was, not heard. It became a career path to be that doll that she was trying to be. Her career became be the doll, essentially. When she started talking in her videos, the little she would say would demonstrate a person that I felt was terrified of being unloved.
I thought I was Nate. I thought I was a leftover woman.
She was yearning for a husband, yearning for a provider, a traditional man, etc., etc. That's what
Housewife.
her dream, she said, was, you know?
It shocked me at the beginning when my mom was trying to make me eat this donkey skin. My mom suggested me to eat this every single day. The main reason is that she wants me to be prepared for marriage and prepared for having kids.
But like, if you really want to understand how this entire mess came to be, you'd need to understand a little bit more about how her mentality probably is. In her world, both offline and online, love has conditions. Some of you guys might already understand this. Maybe you come from a similar background, but her mom is quite traditional. She grew up most of her life in China, right? And in conservative Chinese culture, a woman has a ticking clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock, how close she was to being called a leftover. Over 27, you're Shengnu, a surplus woman, a term government media literally uses. Leftovers, as an unmarried, as an unwanted. But she was only 16, remember? That's what everybody thought. Everyone thought she was young until her OkCupid profile came to light. And just looking at this profile, you can tell how she was really subject to some kind of societal pressure. Looking for a serious relationship, want kids, traditional man, wants a housewife.
I practice to be a housewife.
She goes deeper here, planning to get married in the following year. She wants someone like ready to tie the knot ASAP. She even mentioned her specifications. She wants a guy who's like 30 to 38. Plan to get married by Christmas 2015, right? This is 10 years ago. This profile was like 11 years ago. So she wanted to get married that year, you know, a year max. She didn't even meet someone yet. This is the dating profile.
I wear skirts and dresses all the time, even in the cold winter. I wear tights and side belt.
You go, girl. But that's when people were like, oh, she's not as young as we thought. And then there was a video about her university enrollment. Oh, so she might be in her 20s. 20s! 20s! Yes, as ridiculous as it sounds to you and I, although I feel like a lot of you might understand this, societal pressure is very real. Okay, and for an immigrant who is thousands of miles away from their society, society is mom. And disappointing mom is difficult. And looking at the content, it feels like it ate up her mind. But that Lolita fashion you're looking at, actually, Lolita fashion was never made to the male gaze at all. It was quite the contrary. Japanese Lolita fashion was born as a female gaze rebellion. It was women dressing hyper-feminine to reject male sexualization, embracing cuteness and control on their own terms. So the childlike look that you're seeing was meant to act like a barrier, sort of, you know, not to appeal to men in any way or form, rather to remove male access to the body altogether. However, still, I feel like it cannot be completely separated from its slightly unsettling undertones. You know, it visually embodies infantilization, yet the idea is that the core sensual spirit of infantilization is wrong. So this, in a way, is both a regression and a rebellion. You can share in the comments below what you think Lolita fashion does. Is it really feeding into the infantilization fetish, or is it actually a form of rebellion against it? What do you think? Regardless, the point is not to be or act sexy, but to be and act cute and girly. But the whole thing crashes down when you act and be sexy by being cute and girly. When you're being cute and innocent and naive, looks like this and this and this. Mind you, acting like a child the whole time as well. Knowing what we know, her dream of getting married ASAP, I don't know what you think, but in my humble opinion, this looks intentional. It's not Lolita fashion the way Lolita fashion was meant to be. For girls, by girls, no.
If my style is mixed with cute and sexy, there is nothing wrong acting like a child.
This feels like it's not for girls anymore. It feels like she's built an identity that screams male gaze. That's where the first mess is. Yumi built an audience with cute DIY videos. Adorable, girly stuff initially. Lolita in his female gaze, and then she shifted and centered her content more towards the male gaze, but those gazing at her content were not males at all. It was an audience of young, impressionable teenage girls. A big audience that she had attracted before her content moved a more sensual route, alright? But that shift was not clearly pronounced. That's important to note. It became very clear and had a very different connotation when a man got involved. It, to me at least, okay, stop being innocent, naive, and cute altogether. I'm sorry, you can't convince me that acting that way at your grown age, it makes me uncomfortable, personally. But it wasn't just me. It translated onto her channel performance, a dip in her views, and another YouTube video of her asking why.
Sorry about I changed.
That's how Yumi became the perfect storm. A combination of cultural expectations, a reward system in the form of monetized fetish content, and a man! I'll throw in a man. A man seemingly affected deeply by orientalism, and an infantilization kink. Someone check this man's hard drive, I swear to God. Meet Scott, an engineer, and the man behind the camera. He's about 47 years old. That was like 8 years ago though, but we know that there's a 20-year age difference between him and her. They might have met through OkCupid or through her stepfather, but I'm not sure which is true. Point is, he doesn't call her by her name. It's just,
Sweetie, baby girl.
the internet did the same to him. He's never been Scott. They call him Splenda Daddy. He's not rich enough to be a sugar daddy, but he's creepy enough. So you get Splenda Daddy. 0 calories, 0 fun. I believe Scott is deeply affected by the philosophy of Orientalism. That tab he accidentally left open of young Asian woman cements my belief, frankly. And her relationship with Scott, 20-year age difference, that could be okay, but knowing what we know today, it's immediately off-putting. The way she performs incompetent child, and he performs father.
What do you call it?
It's
Diffuser.
diffuser.
Ambiance.
What is ambient?
Ambiance is when you make your room feel good and smell good with light and smell.
Tell me, do you think that is creepy? Okay, thank God, yes. But back then, to her audience, mostly teenage girls, it wasn't creepy, it was cute. The internet shipped them. They shipped them while her sewing and DIY stopped. Her tutorials vanished, and in their place came lingerie hauls and sexy outfits that'll turn on anyone who sees you in them. I wonder whose ideas those were. The camera lingered longer on her legs than it needed to. The angles lowered. The photo shoots were like, I felt like I was in, should I just leave? They're like having an intimate moment here. You should go. You should probably go. But most eerie of all were the little gestures that looked like they were teasing, but weren't teasing at all. Her naive audience thought it was banter.
Your hair is beautiful. Even the bald spot looks great.
They didn't realize they were watching roleplay. She'd be eating and the hair falls forward. Her daddy, he would bark at her like hair. Hair!
This is a lantern.
Yes. With fire.
This
With fire.
this is a
Fire.
He said she had bad breath in her perfume video.
Bad breath.
One comment read,
Haha, your husband said bad breath. I laughed so hard I choked on my tea came out of my mouth.
I don't know what's so insanely funny about that comment, but yeah, people thought it was comedy. You know, he'd sit her on his lap while she would put her socks on. That didn't make anybody in her comments uncomfortable. He'd take her to playgrounds, watch her go and play. Go play, sweetie. Film her play like a home video. You know, those home videos we all have, the VHS home videos that our parents recorded of us. You could see actual kids playing around her. She would ask his permission to eat.
I add more spice.
Yeah, sweetie, you can add spice.
He fed her vitamins like little gummy bears. He'd make her the food, stick it on a little cat plate so she can, I don't know, lick it up or something. And then he'd play with her bell on her cat collar. You're done. You're done. We were watching the slow broadcast of a woman's objectification. The DDLG dynamic, dominant daddy, little girl dynamic. I am not explaining what that is. You're smart, you can figure it out. And the dynamic wasn't hidden. It was literally the content. And at first, his teasing was being passed as humor.
Your nose is flat. My nose is pointy.
So this is our salad.
This is salad.
Got lockers going on over here for some reason. Why don't you ask them why they got locked?
But the longer you watched, the less funny it got, and at some point, it was only Yumi laughing. Her nervous little giggle that filled the silence whenever he said something cruel.
You for Howard! Shampoo!
What are you doing?
Chicken feet. Do you want chicken feet? No. Chicken feet taste super. Just try it.
There's nothing to eat on this thing.
You have this.
Chicken feet skin.
Yes.
And you've got little bits of cartilage and bone wiggling out of your mouth. How do people eat chicken feet?
It is like a snack.
So what you're saying is people will go out and get chicken feet, bring it back to the office in China, and they'll sit there and eat chicken feet at the office?
Fungus.
It's a kind of mushroom. Yes, it's fungus, but
Yes.
it's a mushroom.
Your mom always cooks that.
Fungus? Your mom always cooks fungus?
This the black thing.
You see, that's... You gotta be careful where the food's going when you're spitting it. Putting my elbow on the table is considered rude.
I'm not putting my elbow on the table. You don't like the chicken feet?
Sweetie, I'm not in the mood to grind up chicken bones in your mouth and spit it out.
He'd tell her a witch cursed her with ugly bangs.
The old lady cursed you with ugly bangs.
He'd mock her excitement. Correct her like a child.
This place is like a apartment.
Well, sweetie, it's exactly like an apartment.
Yes, it is an apartment.
He would patronize her, condescending.
Okay, let's go eat it. And what's the zipper of my dress?
Okay, come on, just stay here. Hold that. Can you see this? Is my head cut off?
Yes.
Okay, back down. Sit back down. Do
No,
it.
I can adjust.
The tension was just unbearable, and she'd just laugh. Watching her videos was like going over to your friend's place, and they start yelling at their parents in front of you. It was uncomfortable. It's tense, and she would just giggle through the humiliation. People weren't laughing anymore. The view counts started crashing. People were leaving, but those who stayed were about to see something much worse. A new toxic fixation that would define the next phase of her decline. This is the phase that even her diehard fans couldn't ignore. Her weight obsession. Video after video after video after video after video after video after video. Tips, tricks, secrets, what I eat in a day, how to get tiny skinny legs. She went from cosplay to weight loss influencing. Remember, her viewers were teenage girls. Girls who copied her diets. They copied her routines and her insecurities. Yes, 100%. Yumi's own obsession with her weight is unhealthy and concerning, but she is directly responsible for the content that she made. The content where she projects her toxic obsession with weight loss to a very susceptible and impressionable audience of young teenage girls who initially came for DIY home decor and Lolita fashion. Yumi knew better. She was a college graduate. She was not that incompetent as she was in the role she played in her husband's fantasy. Still, it is undeniable her husband was the fuel to the fire. Okay, this man was vile about her weight. Vile! He needed to make sure his doll stayed doll-shaped.
Let's look at the calories to make sure we're not overeating.
I guess,
How much do you weigh?
right as she lifted her dessert, she would laugh
This is sushi for you.
or sigh.
It's only 4.3 calories. You could eat these all day.
And you could see it. The exhaustion of being policed by this man. It's coming out of his mouth. This sea slug. This mollusk of a man. Yumi's obsession with weight wasn't solely because of him. It's also cultural, and that we could see in the digital ecosystem of China, where being paper thin is some kind of national sport, with viral challenges centered around shrinking yourself. The A4 waist challenge, the iPhone leg challenge. What is this supposed to be, the length? This isn't even my forearm. What do you mean leg? The coin on collarbone challenge to Yumi, perhaps. It wasn't taboo. It wasn't something strange what she did. Perhaps to her it wasn't even unhealthy. Perhaps it was the contrary, healthy, you know? Maybe it seemed normal to her, the content she made. We can all agree it is unhealthy. It's excessive. And that's where her popularity takes another big hit. Another dip in her views and another video of her asking,
What happened to my channel? My channel has been dying and I have been losing subscribers.
Up until now, people only saw her. They only criticized her. They only disliked the performance that she was putting out. It was almost as though her husband enabling this, probably behind a lot of it. The man fetishizing all of this was getting away with it. There are forums online talking about her, analyzing her, picking her apart. They talk about this woman like she committed war crimes. They call her an LOL cow, a lol cow, which is a term, internet slang, for a person that a community online milks for entertainment, hence LOL cow. It's like ganging up on someone because you're bored, for fun. Splenda barely gets a mention, you know, it's like he's a passing footnote if he's ever mentioned. Yumi, however, community punching bag. They pick apart her face, her teeth, her cheeks, her hair, her bangs. And sometimes those comments that I read are a lot more degrading than anything Splenda has ever said. Reading some of those gave me the ick, honestly. It's almost like they threw the full weight of her situation onto her shoulders, you know, as if marrying Splenda was somehow a greater crime than being Splenda. People were upset about her wanting to be a housewife for some reason. Yeah, she wanted a well-off husband so that she could be a housewife and film YouTube as a part-time project. What about it?
I practice to be a housewife.
She's not the first woman that would love that lifestyle. It sure as hell isn't a shameful thing, you know? Why she married that man? Well, Yumi being conditioned to believe that marrying this deadbeat white man would be her salvation doesn't make him any less of a predator, right? Two people married each other here, by the way. Two. She didn't marry alone. But yes, it is creepy that she was acting and behaving like a child. But arguably, it is creepier and a lot more unsettling that this man enabled it, encouraged it, because he found it sexually attractive. Don't you think so? I don't know. It's a bigger equation than what people want to look at. And it wasn't until their trip to China, a year after their marriage, that people started getting a bad Splenda taste in their mouths. China. Good impression, right? Yeah, well, this was her home, her language, her culture. She's confident, fluent, engaging. She's no longer incompetent. He is.
Candy time!
She's helping him order food.
And this one has 3 different flavors.
She's explaining her culture. She's explaining how hot pot works. She's even taken him out on a little scavenger hunt in the city to look for her exes. The same banter they had going on, but this time with the script flipped. He's not having it. He's in her world, he's not in control, and he hates it.
Are we actually going to pick the pig feet up and stick it in our mouth and chew on it and spit out?
It's not super apparent right away. It's very subtle.
That tastes better?
But for men like him, it's unbearable. She's wearing a beautiful hanfu and he tells her
I hate these dresses.
he hates it.
I don't like the one you're holding in your hand.
He doesn't appreciate her culture.
Got myself a tax collector hat or something here, right?
No, his orientalism is showing. He fetishized her Asianness where it served his aesthetic. That is orientalism. It's how Western perspectives define, control, or judge what is considered normal, civil, beautiful. So there's this part where she's sitting next to a guzheng player, which is the traditional Chinese instrument. And just looking at this scene, you can see how she's genuinely happy. You know, she looks focused, calm, composed like an adult. Shy, yes, but shy adult. And that's the first time you really see her as a person, not as a persona. It was almost as though this whole dynamic only worked when she was isolated, away from where she's comfortable. He hated to see it. I think he did, personally. It's my humble opinion. Okay, why? Because the way he acted, you know, what did he do? Well, he tries to tighten control in ways. He undermines her in subtle ways.
Okay, you order it.
I'm going to order it.
来一份。
Say this is how you order it.
It's cooking.
That's not really cooking. It's liquid nitrogen.
Something I don't want to eat anything sweet.
Rainbow colored smoky balls. Go, 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 go. No. They need to see. They need to see. They're a little disgusting looking, but they actually taste pretty good.
She giggled at this, giggled at that. He laughed at this, laughed at that, but he didn't laugh when she accidentally sat on his glasses. No, he barked. He hollered at her like a drill sergeant.
We're gonna walk back over there and you get to say, oh, I got home and I sat on him. Brand new. We barely got him in the door.
He was almost as upset as when she got pregnant, when that killed his fantasy. Baby girl now had a baby, and that just didn't fit the script anymore. When they came back from China, something had shifted. The audience now saw through their banter. Yet Yumi kept holding on, defending her man. She posted this really cute romantic video, desperately trying to save face.
So we are on the date, and I saw the comments from the last video, so we stopped to make a video. Do you guys like the filter? The filter is really cute, and make my husband looks really cute. I love this filter.
It's all over her. Look how loving. He's so loving, isn't he? One comment says, I'm glad you posted this. You seem to be doing great, and that trip to China was so stressful on both of them. They were not feeling well, which caused both of their, the way they behaved to one another. It's not like the place threatened the dynamic that they had settled into, no. Since they've been back, they seem to be very happy. Of course, they cozied back into that dynamic they had going on. Yumi replies, thank you so much for understanding. It was so frustrating for the both of us. Some people may misunderstand it, blah, blah, blah. Well, that trip was tense.
You got upset.
Yeah.
Then I got upset.
Yeah.
Then we both got upset.
And then Yumi got pregnant. That's the plot twist that no baby girl fantasy can survive. You can't be baby girl and have baby. At first, the pregnancy vlogs pretended like nothing had changed. She's smiling, glowing, still doing her usual cute morning routines. There's an obvious different tone though, alright? Her laugh is tighter, the air is heavier, and her smile just felt a little forced. She just looked tired, and he was tired too of her. Because he was no longer the center of attention to her, the baby was. He calls her moody on camera.
Tell them how angry you've been at me, how you'd yell at me.
Did you tell them how moody you've been? Do you get angry at me grow up? Yes. Because apparently it's my fault.
As though being pregnant was a personality flaw. Obviously she's moody, you sentient lump of mayo. She's growing someone inside her, you know? They're called mood swings. Very normal. But to him it wasn't hormones, it was disobedience. She wasn't giggling anymore. I guess she stopped finding him funny at one point. Can you blame her? She wasn't baby girl anymore. She was a woman. Sorry.
A woman!
That's not what he was into. Completely ruined his script, his fantasy. The baby didn't just break the illusion of the dream she had initially, you know, her dream to have a family, sunshine and flowers. It broke his control over her to a certain extent, you know. She was too tired to perform. She's really upset. She's crying here, crying there. She's just not having a great pregnancy experience. It's real, it's raw. And yet, even during her pregnancy, she's still posting weight loss content. Don't eat for two, she says. You know, it's immediately concerning for the child. And he keeps nagging her, patronizing her, condescending her, always with that same tone of I'm just teasing, but she's not laughing, she's not giggling. She's checked out, you know, and he knows it. And it seems as though that pastel little beautiful bubble they built together is popped. The cat plate, the baby voice, the endless giggling is just not working anymore. Being cute is not performable during childbirth. When you've got swollen ankles, painful back, exhaustion, and when the doll finally wakes up, he didn't love the woman that she'd become. The baby's born late 2020, early 2021, and almost immediately, Splenda is gone. Poof. The man is gone. We're seeing her selling her stuff, sentimental wedding stuff, from her wedding vlogs that people recognized, and also her cosplay stuff that we know are very dear to her. You know, people started speculating and she eventually confirmed.
You guys are right. I have been going through divorce.
By April 2021, they separated. She'd just given birth, and a few months later, he files for divorce. The irony writes itself, honestly. Is Yumi a victim? She doesn't think so.
I'm not a victim.
Perhaps because she thought the house she was building with her husband was just a dollhouse, and she knew that, you know, a dollhouse could never become a home. It was just a stage to play out a fetish. a performance to which the audience was regrettably a bunch of young, impressionable, susceptible teenage girls. What is truly unfortunate and relieving at the same time is really the consequence of this relationship. What happens after he's gone was not something anybody really expected. She's on camera, trying to hold it together. Her voice is soft again, not because she's playing a part, because she's tired. She's a single mother trying to rebuild her life while he's in court, filing divorce, like he's ordering a refund. The doll woke up and he threw her away. According to their public court records, he claims she cheated. She denied those claims on her platform.
I don't mind the assumption people made about me after reading the public records, even it's not true.
And a few of her YouTube comments, and he asserts that the baby was not his, that he should not have to pay child support for a child that might biologically not be his. Legally speaking, he'd only need to claim that the baby was not his. In court, that typically could stand. Unless she contests. If she contests, then the court can order a DNA test, but she never contested. Why didn't she ask for a DNA test? That's the question that everybody's asking. If she didn't cheat, why didn't she prove it? Why not drag his ass back to court and make him pay his due child support? Well, like any divorce, this could be a complex and nuanced situation. It's highly likely not black and white. If the baby is his genetic child, maybe going this path was too costly for her at the time. These costs typically around $500, and that's if the state is not involved. There's still filing fees, service fees, petitions, responses. It adds up fast, but the money is not what I think that makes it not worth it. If she pushes for it, he could push right back. He can demand custody. He can fight for visitation rights that he doesn't even want, just to keep control. Understanding the nature of the relationship, I don't think that's far-fetched at all, actually. And the more time he gets on paper, the less money he owes in support. It's the oldest play in the book. Weaponize the child to punish the mother. You want to push? I'll push harder. You go low? I'll go lower. Considering what we know, that's not far-fetched in my opinion. So she didn't fight. So she didn't chase him down. She just walked away. That could be it. Some people call it weak. I think she chose peace, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I don't think any of us are really in a place to talk about her decision and what she chose to do with that. What I do know is there's no point involving that man in your child's life. Absolutely not. She is a single mom now, and her relationship with her family has been a little bumpy. Sometimes they step in to help, and then they kick her out, and then they're helping her again. So she's been through it. Why'd they kick her out? I don't know. Maybe her traditional mom just didn't like the idea of divorce. Maybe she tried to push her back to him, get back with it. I don't know. We don't know. And we don't need to know. That's the thing. She doesn't even have energy to explain or clear her name anymore. She actually says,
At this point of everything happened, I don't really care about my online reputation.
But let's be real. I personally don't believe she cheated. A woman who can't even drive in the US, doesn't even have a car in the US, of all places where you need a car. She depended on someone for everything. And that claim coming in now, she just gave birth and he doesn't want to pay another child support. Another one? Yes, another one, which reinforces my belief that she probably didn't cheat. There was a pattern. He had allegedly done something similar with his ex-wife. I found a Juana Josefina Cook who was also married to a Scott Brian Cook. Is he the same Scott Brian Cook? I don't know. Could be an awfully popular first, middle, and last name, but Juana Cook and Scott Cook divorced back in 2011. They had 3 kids, and he had been paying their child support up until 2017 when he tried to challenge it in court. 2017, he married Yumi. 2018, his request to challenge child support was denied. In 2020, an emergency appeal when Yumi was pregnant. Denied again. So while it could be someone else, it could be the same Scott Brian Cook, fighting for years to pay less for the children he had. Allegedly, there's a lot of wives. Honestly, these are highly likely to be wives of a different Scott Brian Cook. It's a very popular name. Okay, you got Angela from 95, Juana 98, Tiffany 2006, Jennifer 2000, and Yumi in 2017. But there's also an Irene, a woman who showed up bitter, angry, personal, all up in Yumi's comments, whose comments were deleted.
The mattress on the floor, why he put you in the guest room now? No more baby bed for you. Ha ha ha, your time, you're late.
People were talking about Irene's comments like they were personally targeted. There were so many of those comments that were specifically getting deleted. He mentioned an ex of his as well in a perfume video when he said she had bad breath.
I dated a girl one time whose name was
Jasmine?
She called herself Jasmine.
He didn't prove he wasn't the father, really. He just proved he didn't want to be one. And Yumi, someone so desperate for a baby, her dream, as she had once said, they took their time to conceive. Maybe he was putting that off. And when he couldn't, wait any longer, perhaps, here's a crazy theory, perhaps knowing that he wasn't interested in this anymore, he got a donor involved, Perhaps the child isn't his, but by design. Regardless, I believe that Yumi made the right choice. Some men are just not worth that DNA test. And what? He pays you, and what? Now he's involved. Is that what you wanted? Scott sure as hell doesn't sound like the kind of man who's worth having around raising a child. Divorcing a matter of days after you've given birth. That's intentional. Yumi didn't meet a man, she stepped into a franchise. Same producer, same plot, different cast. When the collar came off, the voice changed. Not gradually, entirely. Giggle was gone, the baby talk died. What came back to YouTube was a woman with a full sentence and a calm tone. She wasn't cute anymore. She was composed, decisive, real, fluent English. No nervous laugh, no incompetence. She fully embraced motherhood, and it looked great on her. She learned to drive, she managed her own life, she leaned off that lifestyle of dependency, she got a part-time job, she stopped oversharing. And most importantly, contrary to what most people thought she would do, she raised her child privately. She's not slapping his face across the internet every chance she gets. No, remember, she sold all those very sentimental, meaningful items to her. Her cosplay, her wedding garbage. She deserves credit for that. She didn't use motherhood for engagement. She protected it. And actually, motherhood protected her. As the Chinese saying goes, when a woman becomes a mother, she becomes strong. And I feel like that saying is perfectly embodied in the story of Yumi King. Motherhood didn't make her softer. It made her unshakable. She's not a victim. Not in her own eyes, she's not. She admits that she played a big part in creating that cage, that stage where she had performed all those years. She shared too much, she performed too long, and she let the internet into her marriage. And while she claims not to be a victim, I believe she is. Of course, you do carry responsibility for a lot of your actions. The actions that we talked about earlier, before Splenda, before the man stepped into her life. Mollusk of a man carries a lot of the responsibility here as well. And we're not just gonna brush that off and just look at her and, arguably her mental state is heavily influenced by the man that was in her life, the man who infantilized things she did. And now, in this new chapter of her life, Yumi is shutting the door that she had once left wide open. And that's growth, right? No more peeping into her life. What's really remarkable about her content is how ordinary it feels now. It's boring, and that's what makes it so beautiful. Splenda. Listen, unfortunately for you and me, okay, in the end of the story, there is no grand revenge. This is your end. It's not cinematic, it's not satisfying, it's just real. The show is over. He's probably looking for another doll to play with while she's somewhere quietly raising her child, far from the spotlight. She outgrew the costume, and Scott stayed the clown. Share your thoughts down in the comments below, guys. Do you think Yumi was a victim? If so, to what extent? I believe she was a victim, but at the same time, she did hold a big part of the responsibility. I mean, she became unpopular time and time again for a reason. And unfortunately, her unpopularity on camera masked what was happening behind the camera, the man holding the camera. A man who I feel, frankly, got away with it. He got away with everything. And it's irritating. But that was pretty much it. I'm gonna go.